New data from a conflict research institute in Sweden says global military spending hit a record high last year. $2.24 trillion was invested in weapons and things like personnel, maintenance and research and development. The United States, the biggest spender, has a military budget about 3 times that of China. Russia is in a distant third place. Perhaps unsurprisingly, Ukraine's own military spending has risen more than 600% since the conflict began. Well, Paul Moorcroft is an expert in military and security issues, as well as crisis management, and told us more.
We're facing the first major war in Europe since 1945. The SIPRI, the Swedish Institute, was established in 1949, and these figures now are the highest. They try to include inflation and so on. So this is a very significant figure, and it has a number of meanings. Obviously, the Russians are spending more. They've gone up, they say, by 10%. You can't trust the Russian figures, but they are obviously trying to increase their spending to support the war in Ukraine. But the figures are still the same for many respects, because the Americans are still way ahead in spending. The Chinese second, the Saudis are third. There are paradoxes, too, in this big spending. One of them is, of course, it means a return to the spending levels proportionally compared to the First Cold War. And the other paradox is that the country which was always respected for recording these figures, Sweden, SIPRI, which is based in Stockholm, as you said, Sweden itself, famously neutral, has now become a big spender because it is about to join NATO as a 32nd member. So Sweden, the whole of neutrality, is now becoming more involved with spending its own spending because of the threat of war in Europe. So this is a sad but fairly obvious comment on the state of world affairs, particularly China and Taiwan, and particularly Ukraine and Russia. Sad commentary, but to be expected.
Paul Moorcroft speaking to us a little earlier.